went to elementary school in a suburb, a New Jersey suburb of New York called Leonia, and then in Rome, New York. And my parents moved when I was in the 6th grade to St. Louis, to a suburb. They chose wherever we would be relocated. They chose on the basis of how good the public schools were. So it was Webster Groves, and I had a couple of really good English teachers. One of them, Mildred Ferguson, had gone back to college after raising her family. And she'd gone to Washington University, which was really quite a fine place to go, and was just on fire about both the current events, things like the civil rights movement, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and also about literature. And she was a fabulous teacher. So I think just her, after my first book came out, Texas Big Rich, I went and visited her in Lawrence, Kansas, where her husband was on the faculty at the University of Kansas and had retired, but they still lived there. And I thanked her. She was really my big inspiration. I also edited the literary magazine in high school. And then I went on to Vassar, partly because I was interested in natural science as well as in English and world literature and writing. And I wanted to find a place that had both of those, and it did. I wound up graduating with my bachelor's degree in English, but as many credits in philosophy as I had in English. I went to the University of Texas at Austin to graduate school in philosophy, thinking I would become an academic. I had gotten to know some of the young faculty at Vassar, and they seemed to have such wonderful lives. So it was as much because I wanted to live like that, the life of the mind, as because of a great interest in philosophy. And there was so much else going on. And I was also recruited because I had an English degree. I was recruited to teach freshman English, which gave me enough money that I could be independent of my parents. I mean, barely, living that kind of graduate school poverty kind of lifestyle, which you could still do in Austin then, you can't do now. And I wound up so involved in everything that was going on politically at the time, and also in teaching my English classes, that I didn't do very well in graduate school, and I wound up dropping out and becoming a journalist. First an advertising copywriter and then a journalist. And the reason I became a magazine journalist, I mean, what really prompted me, besides the fact that it was a high point for magazines at that time, was that the advertising agency that I worked for was in the same building as Texas Monthly, which had just kind of started out. And I would meet the Texas Monthly people in the elevator. And I thought, maybe I could pitch some stories to them. So that's what I did.